space friends. How do you like my hat? Yeah, I decided I'd wear a hat that looked like the earth today for our lesson, which is all about what does God have to say about Earth Day. So to begin, I think it would be fun if you and your family had a discussion about responsibility. So I'm wondering if anyone has ever asked you to do a really big job. Maybe it's something to do with helping with a pet or helping with a brother or a sister, or maybe you had a special responsibility at school, or you have chores to do at home. Has anyone ever given you a big job to do? Pause the video now and discuss with your family. Did you know that when God created the whole universe, time, and the world, God gave humans a very special job to do? Now, we're going to read about that very special job, that big important job, in our Spark Story Bible. We'll start on page 2 and we'll end on page 13. So if you've got your Spark Bibles, turn to page 2 now and we'll read the story together. Creation. Before God created the world, there was nothing at all except God. On the first day of creation, the wind of God blew, whoosh, whoosh, swoosh. And God said, "Let there be light." Crackle, boom, bang. There was light. God saw that the light was good. Then, split! God divided the light and the darkness into day and night. On the second day, God said, "Let there be a sky. Billow, puff." There was sky. God saw that the sky was good. On the third day, God said, "Let there be water and dry land." Drip, drop, kerplunk. There was water. Crackle, crunch, snap. There was dry land. God saw that the water and the land were good. Then God said, "Let there be plants and trees." Rumble, rustle, pop. There were plants and trees. God saw that the plants and trees were good. On the fourth day, God said, "Let there be a sun and a moon and stars. Glimmer, shimmer, shine." There was a sun and a moon and thousands of stars. God saw that the sun and moon and stars were good. On the fifth day, God said, "Let there be sea animals that swim and birds that fly." Wiggle, splish, splash. There were sea animals. Flutter, putter, tweet. There were birds. God saw that the sea animals and birds were good. On the sixth day, God said, "Let there be animals of every kind on earth. Growl, prowl, snort. There were animals with fur. Skitter, scatter, creep. There were bugs. Slither, slink, hop. There were reptiles. God saw that animals and bugs and reptiles were good. Then God said, "Let there be people on the earth. Blink, wink, hiccup." There were people on the earth. God saw that the people were very good. On the seventh day, God said, "It is time to rest." Phew, shphew. God and all of creation rested. Now the challenge on this page says, go outside into God's creation. Look around, God made it all. Say a prayer, thanking God for all of creation. So once this video is done, maybe you can do that too. We'll continue our story on page 8 with a story called Adam and Eve. After creating the whole world, God looked around and was very happy. It was an incredible world filled with wonderful animals, plants, and included two very special people, a man and a woman. God made a beautiful place for the man and woman to live, an amazing garden. God named the man Adam and the woman Eve. God said to Adam and Eve, I need someone to help me take care of this amazing world. Will you help me? Adam and Eve said, Sure, we'd love to help you, God. Adam and Eve were happy to care for God's beautiful world. All around them was incredible creation. Together they walked around the garden, amazed with what they saw. There were tall trees and short trees and fat trees and skinny trees. Wow, Eve, Adam said, look at this. There are flowers of every size and color. Amazing, Eve said to Adam. It's all so beautiful. There were still quiet blue pools and a rustling breeze that blew throughout the garden. Everywhere they looked, they saw an amazing world. When she looked at all of the animals God placed in the garden, the ones that fluttered through the sky, the ones that wriggled and squirmed across the ground, and the ones that frolicked and played across the land, Eve said, it's going to be hard to keep track of them all. Don't worry, Eve, Adam said. God asked me to give all the animals names to help us keep track and take care of them all. This is toucan and chickadee and monkey and squirrel. This tall creature is called giraffe. The silly one with the long nose, she will be an elephant. And this one who wags his tail will be dog. Adam said, look how he follows me wherever I go. God watched over Adam and Eve as Adam shared all of the names of the animals while they played with them in the garden. God was happy to see that Adam and Eve were taking such good care of everything in creation. So here's a question. What are some of your favorite things that God created? Ask your family members what their favorite things are. How many are the same as yours? You can pause the video now and discuss if you'd like. There are so many things in creation that I love. And I love the story of creation where we learn about all of the things that God made and that call to each of us that we are to help care for the world and for the earth, for the animals and for the water and for the stars and for the dirt, that all of this God has given to us to tend and to care for. In the Jesus Storybook Bible, which is a Bible that we've read out of together at different times, in their translation of the creation story, they title it, instead of calling it the creation story, they call it The Beginning, a Perfect Home. And I think that that's such a wonderful way to think about this earth that God has given us. It is the perfect home. We have all of the food we could ever need or want, and we have all of the water that we could need or want, and there's beauty all around. But you might actually question that and say, is there actually enough food, and is there enough water? And I think that God has given us a job to love the earth and to love each other. And one of the ways that we do that best is by sharing all that we have with others and taking good care of it. Jesus says that we are to love God and to love our neighbor. And one of the ways that we can show our love for others is by taking care of the resources that we have been given. So taking care of our little corner of the earth. So I'm wondering about how we care for the earth. What are some of the things that you do that help the earth? And so I'm going to run through a list of questions that I have, and feel free to think about them with your family, and maybe you want to adopt some new practices in your life that will help continue our earth to be healthy. And maybe, we know that our earth isn't as healthy as it could be because of all of the pollutants that we as humans put out into the air, and all of the excess of trash that we have. And so there are different ways that we can think about living our life that will be more responsible to the earth, that will help care for the earth in a way that God intended us to. And so I'm wondering, do you shut off the water while you're brushing your teeth? Do you use reusable bags when you go to the store? Does your family recycle? Does your family compost? Could you take a walk in nature and pick up trash as you go along? Could you plant a tree or flowers or vegetables in a garden, or a fruit tree? How else might you reduce, reuse, or recycle? What are you doing to care for the earth? And I invite you as a family to discuss some of these things and to add to the conversation. And so email me or mention in the comments on Facebook, what are you doing to help our earth? Have a wonderful Earth Day. Get out there and be in nature if you can. And I look forward to a time when we can all be together again. Bye.